Meatloaf. Just the word makes some of you shiver, doesn't it? It conjures up images of school dinners, gray, tasteless, and utterly depressing. You probably think it's the culinary equivalent of a wet Tuesday afternoon, something to be endured, not enjoyed. Well, I'm here to tell you something. You're wrong. Absolutely bloody wrong. Meatloaf doesn't have to be a punishment. It can be magnificent, a real showstopper on your dinner table, believe it or not. Forget those sad memories, we're starting fresh today. This humble dish gets such a bad reputation it's almost criminal. People whisper about it like it's a forbidden food. Oh, meatloaf again, they groan, faces contorted in mock despair. They imagine a dense, dry brick of questionable meat, something that could double as a doorstop or perhaps a weapon in a pinch. It's become a punchline, a symbol of culinary failure. But why? Why the hate for what could be a truly comforting and delicious meal? It's time to clear its unfairly tarnished name. The problem, let me tell you, isn't the meatloaf itself. No. The problem is how most of you Muppets make it. You treat it like an afterthought, a way to use up old bread and mystery mints. You pack it too tight, you skimp on the seasoning, you bake it until it's drier than the Sahara Desert. Honestly, some of the meatloaves I've seen in my time could soak up an entire ocean. It's a disgrace to good ingredients, that's what it is. But I'm here to change your mind. I am on a mission to rescue meatloaf from the depths of culinary despair. I'm going to show you that with a bit of care, a few clever tricks, and some decent ingredients, meatloaf can be bloody brilliant. Yes, you heard me right. Brilliant. It can be moist, it can be flavorful, it can be the star of your dinner. So, open your minds, you panini heads, and prepare to be amazed. This isn't your grandma's punishment loaf. Let's tackle these ridiculous myths head-on, shall we? First up, meatloaf is boring. Boring? Are you serious? Only a boring cook makes boring food, it's as simple as that. If your meatloaf is bland, it's because you've made it bland. You haven't put any thought into it, have you? No passion, no flair, you've just thrown some mince in a tin and hoped for the best. That's not cooking, that's a cry for help. A truly great meatloaf is a symphony of flavors, a delightful surprise with every bite, not a monotonous dirge. Then there's the dreaded dry meatloaf. Oh, don't even get me started on dry meatloaf. It's an insult to the senses. It's like chewing on seasoned cardboard. If your meatloaf is dry, you've committed a cardinal sin of cooking. You've overcooked it, or you haven't used enough fat, or you've squeezed all the life out of it. A proper meatloaf should be succulent. It should be juicy. Each slice should practically melt in your mouth, releasing all those wonderful, rich flavors. Dry meatloaf is just plain lazy cooking, and I won't stand for it. And what about sad? People call meatloaf sad. Sad? How can a dish packed with savory goodness be sad? It's only sad if you've murdered it in the oven. A well-made meatloaf is a happy dish. It's comforting, it's satisfying, it's the kind of food that makes you feel good inside. It's a hug on a plate, for crying out loud. If your meatloaf is making people sad, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself where you went so wrong. Because it's not the meatloaf's fault, it's yours. The truth is, these misconceptions come from years of badly made meatloaves. School canteens, clueless home cooks, people who think seasoning is just a pinch of salt and pepper. They've given meatloaf a terrible name. But it's time for a revolution, a meatloaf renaissance. We're going to banish these myths once and for all. We're going to show the world that meatloaf can be exciting, moist, and downright joyful. So, forget everything you thought you knew, because things are about to change. Believe it or not, even I had my struggles with meatloaf. I wasn't born a meatloaf maestro, you know. I remember my dear old Nan's meatloaf. Bless her heart, she tried, but sometimes it was a bit robust. You could have used a slice to prop open a door, honestly. It had character, I'll give it that. But delicate wasn't a word you'd use. We ate it, of course, because Nan made it. But it wasn't exactly setting the culinary world on fire. It was a learning curve for the whole family, really. Then, early in my career, full of youthful arrogance, I tried to get all fancy with it. I thought, right, Ramsay, elevate this peasant dish. So I attempted a meatloaf with truffles and foie gras. What a bloody disaster. It was pretentious, it was confused, and frankly, it tasted like an expensive mistake. A complete donkey of a dish. Sometimes trying too hard is just as bad as not trying at all. It taught me a valuable lesson. Respect the classics, don't just throw expensive things at them and hope for magic. That failure, however, was a turning point. I stripped it all back. I went back to basics. What makes a good meatloaf? Good quality meat for a start. Proper seasoning, the right balance of ingredients to keep it moist. No unnecessary frills, no pointless garnishes, just honest, straightforward flavor. And that's when it clicked. Simplicity, done perfectly, is often the most impressive thing of all. It's about understanding the core of the dish and making that shine, not hiding it under a pile of nonsense. It's all about the ingredients and the technique. You can't just chuck any old mince in there. You need good beef, maybe a bit of pork for richness and fat, because fat is flavor, you muppets. And you need to bind it gently, not mash it into a paste. Treat the ingredients with respect, and they'll reward you. It's not about complicated recipes with a million steps. It's about understanding how flavors work together, how textures should feel. That's the real secret to a meatloaf that people will actually want to eat. So, are you ready for the game changer? Are you prepared to have your perception of meatloaf shattered into a million delicious pieces? Good. Because my meatloaf recipe isn't just good, it's a bloody revelation. It's moist, it's packed with flavor, and it has a glaze that will make your taste buds sing like they've just won the lottery. This isn't just food, it's an experience. Forget those dry, bland bricks of yesteryear. This is meatloaf elevated to an art form. And it's simpler than you think. The secret starts with the meat. None of that lean rubbish. You need flavor, you need moisture. I use a blend good quality ground beef around 80-20 and some ground pork. The pork adds a beautiful richness and crucially fat, which keeps everything succulent. Then, it's about the aromatics. Finely chopped onions, garlic, maybe a touch of celery, all sautéed until soft and sweet. No raw onions in my meatloaf, thank you very much. We build layers of flavor from the very beginning. And the binder? Forget dry breadcrumbs that suck all the moisture out. We use fresh bread soaked in milk. This creates a panade, which keeps the meatloaf incredibly tender and moist. A couple of eggs to hold it all together, and then the seasonings, fresh herbs like parsley and thyme, a touch of Worcestershire sauce for depth, salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Don't be shy with the seasoning. Bland food is a crime against humanity, especially when it comes to something as potentially glorious as meatloaf. But the crowning glory? The glaze. Oh, the glaze. It's not just a smear of ketchup, you amateurs. It's a tangy, sweet and savory concoction that caramelizes beautifully in the oven. Think brown sugar, cider vinegar, a touch of mustard, and yes, a bit of good quality tomato ketchup or passata. Brushed on during the last part of baking, it creates this incredible crust. So what are you waiting for? Get in the kitchen, try this recipe. I guarantee this meatloaf will change your mind. It might even change your life. Now go on, cook.